Hello, everybody, and have a hope you having an awesome Halloween. Today is episode 3 of the third take. I'm your host, John Chapman III, and I also have my co-host here, Mr. Tkiia Brooks.
Hi.
Yo, intro.
I mean, on the spot.
You on the spot?
Mm,
All right, all right. So this
okay.
is this is my girlfriend Tkiia. If y'all don't know, we've been together for about 4 months, going on 5
Mhm.
the next week actually. So today we're also going to talk about how we found love in a hopeless place. It's a crazy word. Um, we we're going to talk about our story. We're going to give like some little inside details in terms of how we navigate day to day. We'll also talk about stuff in terms of like communication and conflict, talk about trust and growth, and we might give out some little early advice to early couples, and even sometimes some couples that just need that little quick refresher. So, but before all that, we need to actually talk about why we weren't able to upload last week. So literally what had happened was I we were about to record, like this was like Tuesday because
Mhm.
episodes come out on Friday. So we tried to record on Tuesday. Riverside, which is my studio software, it was down. And apparently around the world there was like a whole blackout in terms of like TikTok and Fortnite and even like stuff like that. Like social media itself was just down, and so I didn't know that because that's like, and it's crazy. That was like the one day we didn't actually wasn't on any social media,
Right.
and we literally was trying like my hardest to do it. So then when we tried to record, the mics that we had before, they were overlapping and it was really horrible. So a buddy of mine, a coworker of mine, he kind of told me, hey, you got to get you an audio interface that'll kind of get rid of all that blending, and so that you guys can actually have a nice and smooth recording. And I was like, more awesome. So I bought an interface, and it was supposed to come on, it came on Wednesday. And once I got the interface, the ports had to be an aux ports, and the microphones that I had did not have an aux port on them in terms of like the power cable. And literally I had to run to Target to go and get um a C type charger to an aux like type of cord, where it's like a C charger on one end and an aux on the other. And sadly, I did not know that that only transfer audio. It doesn't actually help power on the microphone, is which that was what the C type charger port was for. I, I feel like people aren't going to understand what I'm talking about, but but a axe is really part of what happened. And um so I finally get that and I plug it in and it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Um, so I was like, I just gotta get new mics. So I was like, I literally returned those mics that day so that I could have new mics come in on Thursday. And the mics that were supposed to come on Thursday, get the catch, y'all. Literally, I got an Amazon delivery. It was an overnight delivery. Thank you, Amazon, for actually having this as a um option, but y'all need to fix y'all stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna put them on the spot because I was upset. I was hurt.
Oh,
And
he
so
was
um
very
Thursday, literally I wake up for work and I get a message saying that my Amazon delivery was here and it's left out and it's outside my door. I'm like, okay, awesome. I go outside and there's no package. And I'm just like, out of everything that could have happened, these mics are not here. And so literally I went up and down our like our apartment stairs, and I looked around and I was like, it's nowhere to be seen, because maybe they put it on the wrong floor, maybe they put it
different
on the different
buildings.
buildings. And so I was like, I need to get ready for work. So we got ready for work, and then like before, like when we took our dog out, Bruno, he we literally had to go up to different buildings just to see where the package is, and we just could not find it. I went to the mail room. I looked everywhere for this package, and literally it was nowhere to be found. And so literally that was like Thursday is like our cutoff because y'all know episodes come on Fridays. And so I was just so upset because I was like, this is like my birthday week. It's supposed to be perfect, but it just wasn't perfect. So I'm maybe there's a different reason, but I don't know. Maybe there's some maybe God just was like, y'all need to enjoy this weekend. Y'all need more time. But luckily we got the mics now, and they working really amazing. So thank you, Amazon, for the quick turnaround. Oh, and another thing is that they've got this stupid rule where you have to wait like 48 hours for another in case you want to like do like a replacement, or if you didn't get your package you gotta wait 48 hours because sometimes the people actually scan it and say it's delivered and it actually didn't get delivered. I'm like, that's a dumb number one. Why are we making it okay for y'all to market delivered and it didn't even happen? Which I think I think it's an Amazon thing y'all need to fix up for real. I don't even know who owns Amazon. Is it Jeff Bezos? I don't know.
No idea.
I don't even know. I don't know. Some rich dude. You need to get your stuff together, man. For real. Because I was heated. I went to work heated, and I was supposed to be celebrating my my like at work birthday with with everybody, and I was just like I was just out. I'm just out of it that whole day. um but anyways, we're so very blessed, so blessed to actually have them now, ain't we? So like I said, yeah, that was just a horrible week that we had, and I'm so sorry y'all that we didn't record, because it's not like I didn't want to, I just literally physically could not record because I didn't have any working mics. um so yeah. um
People have been waiting.
right, the people have been waiting, and later people was like, hey, I can't wait to listen in, and I'm like, oh well. I don't got nothing for you, I'm sorry. But also another thing, I want to say a shout out to my mom for actually plugging this podcast at this physical therapy office. Literally, I was told that our podcast was played like in the office itself, and like people walking in could hear the podcast. And I just want to say big up to that clinic. I don't know what the clinic's name. I'm sure I'll probably get it later on, but big up y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening, and I hope you guys continue to play us sometimes. I gotta plug the podcast sometimes. Um, oh, and also we're on like YouTube now, so it's so weird because like I actually now like on Spotify they don't have like a like system. You can just like follow and then comment, but like now I have to like be a YouTuber
Yeah.
too and be like and subscribe, y'all. I feel like I'm gonna channel my inner Corey Kenshin for real, with this podcast. But anyway, um, my birthday was literally last week. And let me just tell y'all, bro. Tkiia had my whole birthday planned out like from Friday to like Sunday. And like Friday, I get home from work and she's got like my gifts on the table. She's got cake that I'm like, oh my God, like this person went all out for me. Um, but it was really nice, and she had like candles. She had a birthday song planned. It was really special. It was really nice. And then Saturday we had went out to dinner with my family, and it was super nice. I got a seafood boil, y'all. Like that's top tier. If one thing you'll learn about me is I can really eat, can eat, and I love seafood boils. Um, so that was fun in itself. And then just everybody looking at my new car and everybody getting in and out, and I'm just like, why y'all in my car? But I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Like I got to go out, I got to drive my car, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. But anyways, yes, I have really had a really great birthday. I thank everybody that wished me happy birthday, and also my mom happy birthday. So that it was really special, and I really want to thank everybody. Now we can get into the roots of this actual episode. We got to talk about how we got together.
That's some housekeeping.
That's
Housekeeping.
right. Now it's just some housekeeping and some, little insider of the inner life of John and Tkiia. But Ooh, maybe we should probably rebrand the podcast. I don't know. Maybe that'll be off camera. I don't know because like now this is gonna be like our podcast now because I'm like I'm liking this dynamic of us talking. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I can talk about everything.
The third
And
table.
maybe
We'll talk.
yeah, we can talk about it off camera. We can talk about it off camera. I was just trying to give y'all a little insider of what goes on behind the scenes, just trying to do a little that. But in terms of how we got together, you want to go first, or
I'm following your lead.
you want to follow my lead?
Where
Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna be on a reel with y'all. We're gonna give y'all a good, decent timeline of like start to like now. So literally, um, after I graduated, I was already out of a relationship, and I was on. This is crazy that I'm actually outing myself,
we both out in ourselves.
but we both were on it, so hey, it's all right.
Mm.
So we actually, and yeah, because it's got to take away from me, so I'm not the only one that's like crazy out here. But we actually met on the reason why we call this place this title. We found love in a helpless place because we met on Tinder, y'all. Like yes, Tinder, Tinder, like that app. And we all know how Tinder actually works. Gotta keep it PG. Gotta keep it PG. Nah, keep it PG. I ain't gonna lie, you're doing. Uh, but so literally, I found her profile and like I swiped up, and and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, she was like the only person that actually swiped back. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. She was the only person that actually slid, that actually was like I got a ping. My first ever ping was from her, and like that was the only ping that I ever got. I'm like, that's crazy word. Yes, I guess that's all I needed, and now in hindsight, that's all I needed. And then once we started talking, she actually friend zoned me, y'all. Like, she was I was like, hey, so what you looking for on here? I was trying to spit game, but my game was off, bruh. Like my game was just horrible. But I was like, so what you looking for? And she was like, oh, I'm just looking for friends right now. I was like, dang,
See,
man, I'm
you
trying
forget how
to.
to, he had just graduated college and had moved to Houston because he's going to be going to school in Houston. And then he was here for a short period of time because he was going to be going back to Chicago. So he was new to the area and I had just moved back to Houston from North Carolina. So I wasn't looking for anything serious at all at that point. It was just like, okay, the only people I have here are my aunt and my sister. Like I'm starting over. So I'm not looking for anything serious at this time. That's what had happened.
Until I slid in.
Until
Until I slid into them DMs, I was sliding. I was in that sliding. Like I was like, what's his name? Off The Incredibles, the dude was like, "Where's my super suit?" I was like, yeah, yeah, Frozo. I was like Frozo out there. Uh, but basically, so when she told me that, I was like, I gotta keep this friendly, I guess. I keep it friendly. And so, but then we ended up talking more and more, and then we ended up like doing like we actually it started off by text, and then it started off to like phone call.
yeah.
And then like we would be on the phone for like hours, and then it's transitioned into, oh wait, because y'all she had an Android, and I got an iPhone, so FaceTime
Have
isn't
a Google Pixel.
an Android also.
Oh,
Uh so yeah, so I ain't got nothing against Androids, but it's just, you want to come to the right side, I would choose an iPhone
mm-hmm.
all day.
I'm cool.
But anyways, so we had to use Google Meet. Google Meet was our best friend in terms of like talking. It first transitioned from I had her on my laptop to like I would have her on my phone, and we would be face time and
I guess you can
whatever.
still call it FaceTime, yeah.
I guess you can. I guess you can. It's like Google Meet,
Yeah.
so it's like
It's fine.
it's like FaceTime for y'all, I guess. Um, and so from there, we just like as we got to know each other, got to talk. We got to share a lot of just like general information about each other that like you kind of would in terms of wanting to find a new partner, I
Mhm.
guess. Um, You want to say anything from your end? Because from my end, I was just trying to get the title. That's what I was trying to get.
I
I was just trying to get. I was trying to play the nice game, the nice long game.
in terms of timeline, I think I kinda added my 2 cents that made it make a little bit more sense. 'Cause that's how we got together other than, like, our actual first date and, like, encounter. So I guess we can talk about, like, our first impressions of each other. So when we actually met in person.
Met in person. They want to go. So you want to go to the first date and just go from there? Because we get like, 'cause, like that's what we can do. Because we can literally get there.
'Cause we talked for a while, like, we switched from, like, Tinder messaging to actually texting each other on the
Right.
phone,
Y'all,
and then
I was asking for them digits, bro. I got them digits. And even in the friend zone, I got digits, bro. This is history in the making. This is history to all my fellas out there. If y'all are trying to get a girl and she friends on you, you can still get them digits, bro. You can still get
I'm
it.
dead.
I promise you. I'm just playing.
So we started texting, and then I think I butt dialed you once.
Yes, you
I
did.
did I butt dialed you once, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." No, what happened, how it switched from us, like, texting to actually talking
Hmm.
was the joke.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because you heard because that's the first time you actually heard my voice was me sending you the voice memo,
Right.
um, about the corny, like, dad jokes, 'cause we
Yeah.
were talking about dad jokes.
Yeah, and so, after that, we ended up actually calling because and she was and low key, you was a little reluctant to actually call. I wouldn't say reluctant, but it was, like, a little awkward at first, like, if I was, like, calling without actually seeing each other. I don't know. If it was it to you? I don't know.
No,
Oh, I'm just an awkward person, okay.
you didn't wanna talk to me like
No, I did. I was just I was trying to spit game, and I just
and
didn't know how to
now
spit,
you had time for
and
ChatGPT, and now I
nah.
had caught you on 4K on that phone.
You ain't catch me nothing no 4K on the phone. I was just I was just trying to spit, you know? Sometimes you need a little help. Sometimes ain't no wrong with just playing.
So, yes, it started with that, and then we started talking on the phone, and then because we were talking about, like, each other's tattoos and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
And then we talked about like each other's upbringings. We talked about our past relationships, all that type of good stuff. So like we kind of had a really good foundation of like knowing each other to like get to that next step. So yeah, I was about to leave because like I was still in college celebration time. So like I stayed with my dad for about maybe I want to say 2 or 3 weeks after I graduated. And then went to Chicago with to go celebrate with my mom. And like that was the thing, like dang, we just met and we actually want to see each other, but I'm gonna be leaving soon. There's not enough
Are we
time.
going
So when are
through?
we going through? So we literally came up with a date and we ended up it was kind of her showing me around Houston because like she said, I literally just moved to Houston, so I don't really know much about Houston
Mhm.
or nothing about like I don't even know much about my area because like I went to school in Louisiana, so I knew everything about Louisiana for like the last 4 years, and I've only been to Texas maybe I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 times, and that was just for like visiting for visiting for like Thanksgiving or something or like helping my parents move in. Like that was like the only reason why I was actually in Texas, and I was only in Texas for like a brief time.
He had went out in
Right.
Texas, and then this was my first time with me moving back to Texas, also going out.
Mhm.
Oh. So
So then when we actually met each other, she came and picked me up because I ain't have no car at the time. Y'all I ain't gonna hold y'all. I ain't have no car at the time. I felt so bad. I was like, man, she gotta actually come pick me up. But she was like, hey, I'm okay with it. I can go.
that's the truth about
I was like, all right, man. And so we went to downtown Houston. We went to what's
we started off at St. Arnold's Brewery.
yes.
Um, then the next
Hold
place.
on, we got to talk about St. Arnold's
Okay.
first, because St. Arnold's, that
Oh yeah, I was
we
one
was
of
picking up, at St. Arnold's. So, so what happened was St. Arnold's is like a I want to say like a Houston type of French Quarter almost. Well, not like a French
No,
Quarter, but like the style of it is like a what do you call those things?
it's a beer garden, it's a brewery.
Yes,
So
and it also had like a bunch of
what was going on that
vendors
day?
out
They
there.
had some kind of it was like local vendors, almost like a market of some
Yeah,
kind,
farm
farmers
market.
market, something
Yeah,
similar to that. People had like a lot of different things out there. Like I think they had like cowboy hats, something with some food.
3D printing stuff. Because remember those 3D printing
Oh yeah, I think they
Spider-Man
have
stuff
3D
with it?
printer stuff,
And they had that's where we got our first couples bracelets
bracelets.
from. Then they also had a band out
Yes,
there.
it was a band.
And so the band out there, I swear to God, y'all, it wasn't even
It was
playing.
not
It was
playing.
not playing at all. But they played Billie Jean, and I like when they started playing it, I was like, I recognized the beat, and then I was like, I know they not because like it's like most songs have that same Billie Jean that intro and the Billie Jean drum that little drum beat with it. So I was just like they're not playing Billie Jean. And then once I heard the guitars going, I was like, oh, they are playing Billie Jean. So I was like,
He looked
yeah,
at me, y'all.
I was channeling
He,
my inner
he
peacock.
looked at me,
And
but then he looked up there at the stage, and I was like, "Oh God, is he about to get up?"
and
And he
I
got
got
up
up and I went literally and I
in front of
danced
the
in front of
stage,
everybody. I did in front of the stage on dirt that
walking and
walking in Jordans. I was the Houston king of pop was real. I was like out there hitting it. That was like I guess what do like those things that like male birds do to try to
uh-uh.
attract their mates. That was like my little thing.
uh-uh.
So yeah, that was my little thing of actually doing that. And after that we went to this luau place.
So the
Yeah,
truck
truck
yard
route.
had a luau event going on. Um, so the truck yard is one of my favorite places to go to. In Midtown Houston, and they just happened to have an event. So I've tried to plan it around, like, yes, go to all kind of like my favorite spots, but also go to where not that we didn't need to sit and talk and like get to know each other, but we had done a lot of that. So I wanted to make the most of the time that we actually had being out.
And
So I planned it around stuff actually also going on around
the vicinities.
the facilities that we were going to. So they had like a luau thing going on, and they did. I'm trying to think of the right phrase for this, but they were twirling fire,
They were like fire tossing,
like
some
fire tossing,
I guess something like that.
something
I
like
don't
that.
know.
But yes, they were like they were fire. We missed something.
We missed a
I
word.
think we missed a place in
Oh yeah,
between.
when we went to
Discover
Discover
Green.
Green Park. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
went to St. Arnold's first, and then we went to Discovery Green. I don't know
Yes.
how we missed that.
I
We
don't know how
missed
we missed that.
right. So we went to Discovery Green. I think it was a taco festival going on.
Yeah, it's a
Yes, it was a
taco.
taco festival going on, and they were sold out. So it was like cool, whatever. Like it's fun. We got other places that we can go anyway. But that's where it was like a bench on the outside of like the actual festival area
hmm
where we had our first kiss. I don't know how we missed
I
that.
don't know how we
I don't know
missed it.
how we missed
I
that.
don't know how we missed that.
But
That's
yes,
because like we was ready to get to the
to actually do something. Everything
shenanigans.
else
That's the
was
shenanigans.
everything else was
Right.
okay. Like it was so nice.
Right.
It was
And
cool.
so like y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I was spitting some real good game out there.
Uh,
And I and and once we did had our first kiss, I think that's when I asked you, did you want to be my
uh-uh.
that is later on, that is later on. 'Cause I remember exactly where I did
We
now
getting
that I
there.
remember.
Mhm.
See, we getting there, y'all. We getting there. And
So we have to
then
go back and look.
yeah, yeah,
So we went to St. Arnold's, so we went to Discovery Green. Now we're going back to the truck yard and like the luau. That was cool. I'm trying to think. Okay, so
and
after the luau,
then they almost killed somebody
oh
by
yeah,
it
it
was
was a newer. I think it was his first time
they
actually
doing the
doing the
fire
fire tossing.
twirling and like
He said he almost
twice almost first he almost took out a child because the thing went in the air and everybody was like, "Oh my God." And then I think it almost hit like dude or something. I think it hit
it was a
another dude.
yeah, it was a dude
It was
like
like
in the front.
it was like a front dude in the front, and he was like, "Oh," I was like, "Hey," I was like, and we stood at the very, we stood on like on a
We were on a
balcony, we are on a
balcony.
balcony. So I was like, "Hey, if it comes all the way up here, I'm suing." I'm suing.
But it was a good time. It
But
was still
yeah,
a good time.
it was great. It was great. Never gonna say that whole day itself was just awesome. It was just funny that people were that some of us took out people. And then we went. Then
Next door
after next door was a little nightclub, and that's when the shenanigans started.
started going
We
uppity.
we
Then
went there, and it was nice.
it
It was
was
nice.
cool, and
It was
you could see kind of a little bit more of like the skyline and stuff like that. I wish we could post pictures like as we were talking
right
first.
as we're talking.
Because we're
We can do that probably once we get later down.
so then that's when we started club hopping. So we went to I can't remember the name of this. I actually never know the name of the place. I just know it's the club next door to the
Right.
truck yard.
Like I know where it is.
I
I just
know
don't know
where
what the
it
name
is. I
it
don't
is.
know what the
I just
name
don't know
is.
the name of it.
So we went there and we started. He was like,
And we
"Hey,
don't like
you
getting
ready
them.
to?" I was like, "You ready to
Yeah.
cut up?" Or he was like, "All right, yeah." 'Cause, like we ready to cut up. So we took an Uber into actual Midtown. Did we go to Little Woodrow's? I can't remember. I'm starting like that's. I started getting drunk. I remember getting
I
in the
think
Uber.
we got an
Did we?
Uber. No, we didn't
No.
because we went to that 7 degrees wherever the
We tried to go to 77
7
degrees.
degrees. No,
No,
we
we
did.
actually
Yeah,
did.
yeah, we got in. We went to the terrace and then
Yes.
we went to the inside of it
There
because it
was one
wasn't
place we
7.
weren't supposed to. One place we didn't get into, right?
Yeah, no,
No, because it was
it was
closed.
closed. It was
It was
closed. So we
closed.
didn't
So
get the full
you're
experience,
right.
but we were there. We were there.
No, they closed the building down completely because it's not what it used to be. It used to be a 3-story like
Oh
bar
yeah.
club. So it was like a arcade bar on the first floor. Then it was like a mechanical bull,
Oh yeah,
dance floor, and then a rooftop. That building itself was closed.
yeah, yeah. The I think the roof. I mean the rooftop stuff was closed, but we still was on like the top of it
That
with the
was it.
balcony.
I think they closed
Yeah,
this one building down that
and they
had all
merged
three
it
and made
together.
it to this
Yeah,
one thing.
most likely they did.
So yes, we ended up at 77 degrees, and that's when
That's when we were on the terrace. I remember we was on the terrace,
yeah,
and
we were
that's
on
when
the
I
roof.
asked
That's when
you.
you asked
That's
me.
when I asked you,
That's when they had the
and
really
that's
good margaritas.
right. That was some good margaritas, and that's when I asked her, did she want to be my girlfriend? And guess what, y'all? Guess what she said? She said, yeah. She was like, yeah, yeah, I do it, I do it.
Mm.
So, but since we on a podcast, what made you say yes to me? That's the main question.
What made I think we need to go back even further.
Crazy word.
First impressions.
First impressions, crazy word.
First
So
impression.
when once I, as soon as
'Cause
I came outside and went to her car, she was like, ah,
uh-uh.
she was in there, she was in there, she was like, ah. Oh, once we got in the car, we went hugged and
My
everything.
tism was the first impression.
Yeah, this was the first impression.
Right door.
But I mean, first impressions, for you, it was just like you were very sweet. You were very, you were just everything that I remember when we were talking on the phones. You were just that in person. So
Mm.
that's like, to me, it was just like, I was already trying to get with her. So it was like, now this is the test. This is the test. This is the test for me to get to her. So so for me, your first impression was already like established when we were over the phone. And then in person, you just like heightened it even more in terms of like showing me your personality.
Okay.
Y'all, she's thinking about mine. Yeah, she is really thinking about mine.
I was already freaking out. Like I'm like when I pulled in, cause you was already out there waiting. I was like, oh my god, I don't even got a moment to like get myself together. So I was already freaking out. Then when you opened the door, you heard me already.
Mhm.
You heard me already screaming. I'm trying to get out before you open the door. I'm trying to get out before you open the door. And I was like, oh my god, he's so much cuter in person.
Crazy
And
word.
then crazy word. And then you like leaned over for a hug. I still had my seatbelt on. I was like, oh my god, this is awkward.
Because I think it was also because like we had like a time limit because we were just trying to get everything because
Yes.
we had to like literally
We had
go
to
and
go.
go. And so I think that's what also went into it, like literally being in the car, seatbelt on,
Right. It's like, all right, hi.
doing like, all right, like, and we was just
Hello.
talking. We were just talking while we were driving,
Right.
while we were on the road. So that's kind of what we did more. And plus, like, y'all, it was like it was a date, But as a respectable gentleman that I am, I ain't gonna go in for the kiss just right on
Right.
off rip. That's a little too far. That's a little too
Right.
far. But hey, gotta bide your time, fellas. You gotta bide your time. Y'all gotta learn how to bide your time because the good things come to those who wait. That's what I'm saying. Good things come to those who wait.
Okay. So yes, first impression. Then as we were driving, it was more so. It felt like Love Is Blind kind of because it's like I was actually putting a face, like an
Hmm.
actual in person encounter with like what we were experiencing, like over the phone and like through video chat and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So as we were like driving, my nerves kind of just went away. Like once he actually got out of the car, that's also part of like the first impressions. You did not let me touch a door
Oh yeah, I
the
didn't
entire
the entire
time.
time.
I did not touch any doors.
Mm.
Um,
As a respectable
oh
gentleman.
my God. I didn't touch any doors whatsoever. I was like, okay, because you said it, but it was just like, okay, like you're actually putting
Hmm.
action behind like
Hmm.
what you said. So it was that. I was like, okay, so he was for real. So everything that he had said to me,
Brother,
like,
brother was on was
like
on
I was like,
game.
good.
I was trying my hardest, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I was trying my hardest. I was trying to be the most respectable gentleman. I mean, and that's not
Me
even
too at this
like,
time. Like,
and it's not even like I was just trying to like get with you. It was just I wanted to like back up what I was telling you over the
right.
phone. So I was telling you like I'm gonna be, a nice cool guy. I'm gonna be I'm not like overly crazy. Like at least I don't think I'm crazy like that.
Yeah.
Until you get to know me maybe. But like I was just being respectful. I was being a good first date impression
Yeah.
type of guy. That's what I was doing. You know, how you doing?
Now I'm trying to circle back to your, what was your question before? Because
My
we
question
skipped first
my
impression.
question was what made you say yes?
What made you say yes? Oh,
Yes.
well, the
The
first
first
impressions.
impressions, that's
Yes,
what
like you were actually able to back up because people talk a big game. They'll always say like, "Oh, I'll do this. Oh, I'll do that. I'll treat you this way. I'll treat you that way." It was just like, no, you actually you was about that life. Like, everything you said, you actually did.
and literally the same for her. She was literally I was like, wait, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like, y'all, when you are like meeting somebody and you're talking to somebody like first from a online site, like all you have is pictures. So we were sending pictures to like each other, just like, normal pictures, nothing
Not
graphic,
crazy.
nothing, not crazy, just normal pictures to each other. So like we get a sense of what each other look
Mhm.
like and who we were. So, and I was also, not trying to get catfish, y'all know what I'm saying? But we were, but like once we did that, I was like, when I saw her, y'all, it was like she was just looking, she looked like a goddess
Oh my
once
God.
in the car. I was like, man, you should not be driving this car. I should be driving. But I wasn't able to drive. I didn't have a car and I didn't want to, embark on her car, you know what I'm saying? But I was trying to be the respectable gentleman that I was trying to be. I was just like, you know what, let her do what she wanted to do. But
In
after
addition to everything being a surprise, like you did
right.
not know what you was getting yourself
Exactly,
into.
and it was like and if I would have driven everywhere that we were going to, it would kind of take away from that surprise because you knew exactly where you were like y'all. She had the whole day planned out. She had it timed, and we was like on schedule, going on to time. That's why I said like we were like in a rush because we had to go here at this time and stay here for this amount of time, go to the next place here this time. And then once we went to that night bar, that's kind of when it started tipping off. And
It was outside.
and then we were just outside and it was fun. And then like once we actually started dating, like we like made it official to us, we were walking around outside and some dude came by. He was like, y'all are cute. Y'all is a
Such
cute
a cute
couple.
couple. Like
And we was like,
this
dang.
just
Well, we was like, this literally just happened
you don't even
like
know.
literally 5 minutes ago. And we were like, oh, see. And like I think that's when it told me like we were actually like really meant for each other because like that was like the universe kind of confirming like thank God, thank you for like actually doing it.
Right.
Because it was like y'all finally been talking on this phone and now y'all finally met each other. He was like, thank you. Make it freaking official now so we can actually get it going. And then it was like that confirmation of that, yeah, y'all are good for each other.
Mm-hmm. Because I think at first too, we were both trying to figure out if we were both feeling the same ways about each other. Like
Hmm.
I don't feel like either one of us were trying to be like yeah, I'm feeling you on this level, and then being afraid that the other person wasn't.
Right. I think we could, yeah, because we were literally, because like literally we talked, when we talked, y'all, we was like literally the same person. It was just,
Everything
it was
was
just,
clicking. It
everything
was
was
wow.
clicking, and it was, and that was like, it was to the point that it got scary because it was like her mother, because like her family dynamics is the same, almost the same as mine, or literally almost like literally identical, really.
Mhm.
And it was just like everything started to click in time. So it was like once we made it official, it was just like, all right, let's go ahead and do it. And then afterwards, we basically we went to the nightclub, and then we had fun, and we was out there doing just crazy. We was crunked.
We was
We was crunk.
outside.
We was outside, and then that was kind of like our first date. I mean, I ain't gonna get into the other specifics,
Mhm.
but yeah, we that was pretty much our first date, and like that right there was like, and it was also like more special because I was leaving for considerably, like I think I left for like what, 2 months. Or no, no, I left for a
You
month
look for a month.
because I had to come back. So I left for like I was leaving for like a month. So it was like this was our only attempt to actually see each other until I got back. And then once I left, we actually started just like FaceTiming all day, all night. And then once I came back, we both got back around the same time because you had just came back from your cruise.
Right.
And y'all, she literally, this is how I knew that this is the perfect person for me. She didn't have no cell service out there. She did it everything in her power to make sure she had cell service so that she could actually talk to me. That was
I bought the
the
cruise internet,
she
y'all.
literally bought the cruise internet. And I told her,
$35 a
and
day.
I told her she didn't have to, because I was like, I want you to enjoy yourself on a cruise with your family. And she was like, nah, we are going to talk. And I was like, okay. I was like, and that right there told me like the amount of love and compassion that she had for me so early on, because we had date for like what, a month at that time. Yeah, no, yeah, because
It
I
would have
yeah,
been
yeah, it
2,
would have been 2 months because
'cause I
we,
didn't go till August.
yeah, you didn't go till August, and then we met in June. So yeah, so that's June, July, and August.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So so literally um, then when I came back, we was just on crunk level, and literally for me starting school, I had to figure out like how was I gonna manage school and also relationships. So luckily, my girlfriend, she has an apartment, and I ended up living with moving in with her. Now the moving process, that was fun and also hectic at the same
Right.
time, because it was just like getting everything moved in and then everything situated, because like now this went from a one person stay to like a two people stay.
Mhm.
And especially when it comes to new couples, especially moving in that early, it's like seen to everybody as like, oh, y'all are moving too fast. And like we got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And and to us, it was like it didn't matter about the quantity or like how long we were together. It was the quality, because like from our first date in itself, that kind of made the foundation like of this is how we are going to be for the rest for the rest of our lives, of like actually being together. So it was like moving in was like just gave us an outlet, because we were gonna have to figure out how we're gonna see each other
Right. 'Cause
anyway.
his school is about an hour away from where I stay. Um,
Scratch that. That's like a 2 hour
2-hour
drive,
drive?
because Houston is horrible.
I hate
Houston
there.
drivers are horrible.
So, it was gonna be a matter of trying to figure out, okay, work schedules, school schedule, and then us trying to figure out, like, when, where, how on this weekend I could come and stay down there
Right,
with you this weekend, you can come stay
right,
down here with me. When work was closer to my apartment than work
hmm,
was for you to go to
right.
school, and then you only go to school 2 days out of the week, so it just
Exactly. So
made
it's
more
like it made
sense
more sense for me to live
financially
with you. Hmm.
for you to move in with me, in addition to us also trying to figure out how we were going to try to constantly be seeing
Right,
each
and be
other
seeing each
as
other.
well.
So
But the biggest thing with that was I didn't want to be the person to like initiate you moving in with me, because again, everything was happening kind of fast. It's not that I didn't want you to, but I didn't need to be the one to be like, here you go, you can do this. I needed you to be the one to be like, hey,
do you mind?
this is what I was thinking. Do you mind?
Right. And literally, like, I was like, because I was thinking, I was just like, man, like, I do have my dorm here, but I was like, I really just want to be able to go to work because work would help me going back and forth to school and even if like, in terms of like, even if I lived at home, I would have had to, find something. But luckily, I found a job, and the job is actually really amazing. I love my job. I love Genesis Medical Group. I love my job. Um, and literally, I put that in terms of living with you so that I could get back and forth to work because I go to work more than I go to school. And so moving in with you made the most sense to me, and actually getting rid of my housing over there, which is so crazy now in hindsight, because it was just like that was really a big leap of faith that I had to take
Mhm.
to actually
Oh,
I mean, literally for both of us. Yeah. Like that was a big leap of faith for both of us to like be like, we just like had our first encounter. Like we only had seen each other like once or twice because we saw each other again when I came back. And then the next time we saw each other after that was I was moving in. So it was just like, but granted, we were on the phone like literally every day,
it
all
was
day.
just like we were back to
Mm,
where we were, like, when we had first started talking. It's
right.
it's like talking on the phone, FaceTime, and texting
Exactly.
all the time.
And so like once we actually did that, once I moved in, it was just like now you're literally stuck with me. And I'm stuck with you now. So so what do you think is the best part about us living together?
Ooh, best part about us living together?
Yeah. Keep it PG. Keep it PG. PG.
What's going to keep it PG? The answer is PG. I would say that it's just so comforting to come home and know that, not that I just didn't feel like loved coming home like by Bruno, but
Hmm.
just knowing that I have an actual person that looks forward to seeing me every day and looks forward to spending time with me every day, literally doing absolutely nothing, just me being with you and knowing that you genuinely like want to be there and you appreciate me being there. Just your presence in general is like the best part. It's just like, okay, work today sucked, but at least I get to go home and be with you.
I would say the same thing for me, especially last week. It really, and even it was like almost like a more of a reminder, but it was like I'm already constantly reminded because like that's my main thing I'm ready for when I go home. I'm like, I get to go home, I get to be with the Kai, I get to be with Bruno, and we just get to be on shenanigans for the next like 3 hours until we got to go back to bed to start the next day over in terms of the weekday. And I think the best part of that is just also coming home and we have like time to actually do stuff. We can go out. We can like I've like y'all, I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I've just got her watching wrestling almost every day. Like it can't go a day without us watching a match or at least her hearing some type of wrestling news. Literally like and that also like solidified you in terms of like me being like, oh yeah, this is the one because not a lot of women are wrestling fans. Not a lot of women are wrestling
I
fans.
wouldn't say I'm like the biggest wrestling fan, but I find it entertaining. Like I definitely will watch it.
Right. And like most people don't even get to that level of just being like because everybody says, "Oh, it's big, it's fake, it's this." They always say the F word, and I don't like that F word because it's not fake.
Yes.
But that's a different
So y'all need
discussion.
to
That's
stop.
because it will people at work be trying me, and I'll be
Mhm.
like, "Y'all, if we really want to be technical about it, let's really get technical, but that's for another day." But basically like that also solidified everything because I was just like, this is like the perfect, like she's beautiful, she's loving, she's amazing, and she loves wrestling. And like, or she loves wrestling to the point that she's willing to watch it with me, like as much as I want to watch it. So like that in itself meant a lot to me in terms of like um having something to look forward to when I come home is that we can actually just be on shenanigans all day.
It's like
And
living with my best friend.
literally, and now we're like we're not just best friends, we're like lovers,
Yeah.
literally. Um, So how did you think so give me your first impressions of me actually moving in, like, of, like, my first, like what? Because 'cause I've only been here for, like, what, maybe, like, 2 months, maybe? I be maybe 2 months? Yeah, because I've only been on work for 2 months. It would be 2 more oh, actually, no, it'd actually
Okay.
be 3 yesterday. Yesterday, it would make it
Mhm.
3 it would be 3 months since I've been here. Um, so literally, um yeah, I want you to give me my good, like, my first month of just being your new accomplice.
It really didn't change. So, like, trying to think of how to say this without putting like I'm gonna just say it. So our first date didn't necessarily end that day. The first date was like 3 days. So it felt like those 3 days. It just felt like it was just those 3 days.
Mm,
I didn't have any I was comfortable. I enjoyed the company. I enjoyed the shenanigans, enjoyed watching the wrestling. It felt like with me here by myself, I was in like this solo routine. Not that I just didn't like it. I just felt like because of what I was previously in, and it was always something was always unsettling to a certain extent, and I never knew what to expect or what I was coming home to. It went from being chaotic to it being like nothing, and it was like, okay, I need to find a hobby. I need to find something to do outside of just work,
work.
Bruno, going to sleep.
Mhm.
So when you came, it's just like, okay, so we got Raw on Monday, we got NXT on Tuesday, then
Then we got TNA on
then we got
Thursday,
TNA on
then we
Thursday,
got
then we got
SmackDown on
SmackDown on
Fridays,
Friday, and
and then
then maybe have a
even
pay-per-view
pay-per-view
on
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
So it was like
So
my life went from being like this dull routine, which again, coming from something chaotic was I was okay with it. I felt like I actually needed because I was able to do a lot of like personal growth and like mental
mhm,
health and changes and during that phase. But it was just like, okay, like I'm ready to form more. I'm ready to embrace more. And that came with you. Um, and I love
she
it.
making me shook, y'all. I'm looking here all blushing. You're like over here, my cheeks are red over here, like blushing. I'm like, oh, over here straight glazing. I'm just like,
I'm deceased.
but nah, it's no, that's not that's literally how I feel. I like literally I was a going from like literally, oh my God, I'm about to start this new journey, but I can start this new journey with somebody who also has been through what I'm about to go through. And so
We
I
didn't give a
also
backpack.
we didn't give a background, but don't worry, that's coming anyway. It like for those who don't know, Takaya actually does have her master's in
Masters in health administration.
there you go. And so she's already been through the trials and tribulations of getting a master's that I'm going through right now. And so it was like having her as a guide and not only you know, not just using you for a guide, but to have you as somebody that's done it before. And I've seen like what you're doing after that. It also gets more motivating for me to keep going and for me to get my master's so that I can be on the same level with you, and then we can both level up together as we go through life. And so I think that's also the one thing that I look forward to because I really try to live in the moment. I really try to enjoy what I'm doing. But it's like I just can't wait until the future because I can already see it with you. Like I can see us getting a nice house, getting seeing kids. I can see little Bruno's walking around. I can see so much of growth for the both of us that I'm just like, I can't wait. But it's like, but it's almost like now it's just like I need to focus on what's doing right now because right now dictates where we get to, yeah, where we can go to that. So it's really me having you to come home to. uh, just being in my life has just changed my overall mentality when it comes to just my own personal growth because you give me the reaffirmation that I can actually do this because like you are like literally my like third biggest cheerleader next to my parents. Like you are literally always in the corner. Like even when I had my little mic incident, you were just there to be like, it's okay, calm down, it's okay, it'll work out, we just gotta wait. and just get, and you were like, you're able to like really calm me down. And I try to be that, but like sometimes you need that little extra boost.
Mhm.
And you are like more than just a little extra boost. You are like that comforting, like calm down, you're okay. And it's gonna be okay. And like whenever literally I'm around you, I'm always like, man, I can just conquer the world. It's literally, I got you by my back. And like I try to push that same thing to you because I'm like, you do so much for me outside of just a relationship that you don't even know, just on a personal level. And I try to mimic that for you in your own,
Mhm.
because work can be, especially
Mm.
working in the medical field, that is already a stressful time in itself. So having somebody actually come home to after a stressful day is top tier, y'all.
Yeah.
It's really top tier. Okay, but moving on to communication and conflict. My main thing is I hear a lot about like communication really makes or breaks a relationship. I want to get your opinions on what you think what communication habit can make a relationship.
I would say just open honesty and speaking up before something is an actual problem itself. Because a lot of problems, I would say a lot of smaller problems snowball into like bigger ones. So if you can address those small ones before they fester into something bigger, um, that allows for your communication to actually do what communication is supposed to do. Because you can't fix something if you don't know that it's not
Right.
broken.
Right.
So actually, just speaking up and communicating will is the best.
And also, I would add to that to be like, because I would say communication is important, especially if and the communication doesn't have to be you just lay everything out right then there. It can just be, hey, I'm not okay.
Right.
But I'm gonna figure out, because some people just need some time, that time to like process themselves.
Hmm.
So they can be like, hey, I'm not okay, but I'm gonna tell you like what's going on. Trust me, but
Right.
just give
Let
me
me
a
figure
minute
it
to,
out.
to just figure it
That's how
out.
I am.
Just to
If
figure it
something
out first.
bothers me, I need to figure out what is actually bothering me. Because I feel like one thing can set me off, but then it'd be something else entirely. Like I have a bigger problem that this is just triggering it.
Right.
So trying to figure out the actual problem itself before actually communicating it, because I don't want the small thing that doesn't really matter to be what's get communicated about
Mhm.
versus what is actually wrong.
Right. And I think that that literally makes a relationship, because if y'all just lay down that foundation of just talking when you're not feeling okay, and it's okay to not feel okay,
Right.
because you're not always gonna be,
Yeah, always 100%.
always 100% like lovey-dovey. You're gonna be 100% always in tune. It's almost like that Medea thing. Like you're always gonna get that 70% or that 20%. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Wait, did I do that right?
Yeah, not the
Yeah.
30.
No, it's the 30. It's the 30. No, no, she said you're always gonna get 80% and that 20, because that's what I remember. I remember.
Mhm.
So you're only gonna get, so it's like you're never gonna get that full 100% because life happens. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody is like a robot. You can't just
Right.
literally just program yourself to be like, I'm gonna give my 100% all. And your 100% all can be that 80%. That literally can be what that looks like. Be like, I can give you this. If I burn out, I'm gonna let you know, and we can kind of, fix up after that. You know what I'm saying? But I think when it comes to communication, that is a really big thing in terms of telling people like I'm not okay, but also giving yourself the time and giving your partner the the heads up that we need to. I'll talk to you about something, and it doesn't have to be anything about anything bad. It can be something. It can be something good. It can be like, hey, I think you're doing really cool, but let me just process. Let me just process this real quick. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Um, so what do you think in terms of a communication cabinet can break a relationship?
Silence, like not communicating at all or feeling like it's just me. It's just a me thing. Let me just figure it out. Like even if it's something like internally that I'm going through because of us being in a partnership, me not being at 80% all the
Mhm.
time is going to affect you because
Right.
you're gonna be like, okay, what can I do to help? If I'm like, there's nothing you can do, or if I'm just shutting down,
I'm just gonna work even harder.
right, you're gonna be like overexerting yourself to try to figure something out. But it's just like if I was just open and honest and communicating to you, like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
Just give me some space. Then you can.
at
take that
least take
and work
and
with
as
that
yeah,
versus
I
you
can work
thinking
with
like
that
it's
rather
something that
than
can be done.
just being like, oh well, and especially like sometimes like I had this problem a lot in my past relationships was like there would be something wrong and I wouldn't know about it until it got to that boiling point. Like people will let that stuff fester and man really get to that point where it builds up and they just explode. And then once they explode, you're just like, well, I didn't know,
Right,
or like you have to like have all the solutions at one time
mhm,
versus having that time to actually pick yourself up and actually getting yourself prepared for that next for the
right.
talk. You know what I'm saying? I think that can really because I mean technically shoot I'm here now so and so that really did break a relationship in terms of not being able to communicate like
Right.
how you're feeling
That
good
and
or
I feel
bad.
like the way that it is also actually presented because in my last, relationship, it was always presented in a very abrupt and disrespectful way. I would say a lot of it did have to do with his career, like him being in the military and not necessarily knowing how to argue like a civilian. It was always arguing like somebody that is in the service, and it always came across degrading to a certain extent.
Mhm,
So anytime there was ever anything wrong, it always came across very disrespectful, very abrupt, and always put me on a defensive, and
mhm,
it's either fight or flight,
right,
and it was always
and it
fight.
was
It
always
was
fight.
always fight.
Mhm,
So it's like I'm immediately defensive regardless of what you are saying to me. I'm already have my walls up because of how you're presenting it to me. In addition to it always kind of came out when he was drunk. So not only are you drunk and being rude, belligerent, we're also in public and you're doing it in front of people.
mhm.
So I'm sitting here having to
Art
defend myself and
and
argue with you around people, also of us trying not to freaking get arrested because we're
right,
doing this in public and around people.
right,
And even when we're at home, it's just like because of me being so far away from like my family and my friends, it's like, okay, do what can I do to actually fix this like in this moment? Because I don't not that my family and friends wouldn't have came to like help me,
right.
like get me out of it, but it's just like
You're trying to do the best
I'm
that you
trying to do the
can.
best that I can with what I got.
Right, exactly. You're trying to deal with the cards that you were literally
Right.
dealt with. And literally that brings me to my next topic of arguing
Mhm.
because literally and this was a really good question that we literally got recently about like have we had our first argument yet? And it's crazy that we just
We
haven't.
have it.
And I'm hoping that that stays the same way. But it's like arguing doesn't always need to mean because I think that there's a really big people really misunderstand what arguing can really look like because everybody thinks of arguing as lashing out. That's just a type, like a form of
Right.
arguing. Like you're always lashing out. And I always say two people screaming, nobody's going to hear each other. So it's like in terms of arguing, you need to be able to argue in a very I would say almost like formatting type of way
Mhm.
where you're like you let the first person go and then you kind of can like either rebuttal or you not really much of a rebuttal, but you can add your own 2 cents to it, and you can also tell your like differences because like there's never going to be a time where we're 100% on the same page every single time. There's
No.
going to be times where we can have bumpy roads, we'll have our little slumps, we'll have all this type of stuff, and we have to just find a way how to get over that barrier. And like it's more of how we get over that barrier in terms of arguing because if we argue about something and we just go into those like lashing out at each other, that doesn't really settle what we need to be talking about. So I wanted to get your insights on what do you think is a perfect, well, not a perfect argument, but what do you think can help alleviate the lashing out type of arguing?
I feel like the biggest thing would be listening to understand versus listening to respond. Because especially for me in particular, it takes a lot for me to actually get upset. So when I do actually say something, it's because it's gotten to a point like this is actually like bothering me. So you actually hearing me out for about what it is that is actually bothering me versus you saying or trying to rebuttal it. Well, I'm doing this because X, Y, and Z. Actually understand what I'm saying and I'll say validate. Like I understand why you feel that way. What I was actually trying to do is X, Y, and Z
All right.
versus you being like, on the defensive, like trying
Right.
to like not understand it at all.
And trying to shut it
And trying to
down,
shut
like,
it down, like, no, you
literally.
shouldn't feel that way because that's not what I was trying to do. No, I feel that way, and this is why.
Right. And like, and it also goes to the other person that they have to actually listen. They have to like listen to actually not listen to speak, but listen to actually intake all of that
Right.
information. And it also helps when like you have when you like are in a calm type of like setting. You don't have to,
Mhm.
and I think that also can bring the can bring that little hostility of like, especially if you had a really bad day and you're like, oh, we gotta talk about this, and then it's gonna
Right.
lead to that. But like I would say for like couples that are going through that to just find a time where like you guys have nothing to do and you guys have had a pretty good solid day and you guys can actually be in the right mindset to actually talk about this. And it almost kind of sounds like an expectation, but in terms of making it, I wouldn't say schedule, but I would just be like, if we're like, just like for instance, for me and you, we're off on weekends,
Mhm.
so we can actually, if we have any type of conversation that we need talked about, we can talk about it on the weekend.
Yeah.
Versus then on a crazy day in the week, maybe we can find a crazy day here and there, but majority of the day is either I'm at work or I'm at school or and you're just at
I
work.
don't know because you also don't want it to be like
Fester.
that festering and that snowball effect. Like it's like this bothered me on Monday, but we're not off until
To
till
Friday.
Friday,
Yeah.
and then you doing X, Y, and Z. Especially, 'cause I would say for me, if I let it ball up, it would be small things. It's like snowball.
Mhm.
So I would almost, depending on the not even. I would almost, if it needs to be addressed, it just needs to be it needs to be
Right.
addressed almost immediately before it just turn into something.
Right. Because you don't want it to just fester over. I don't know where I was trying to get. I was just trying to get to like, because like you can understand what I'm trying to
I
say.
can
Like
understand
I'm
what you're
trying,
trying to say,
I'm
like, if there's not a time and place throughout the week because of life,
Man's life of
then
living.
find that time, or not find that time, but to wait for it, but I wouldn't wait for it. I would create that time
Literally
because
just,
that's where resentment comes in, and that's
and
where.
that's where your part has to come in too as a
Right.
partner too for your significant other. See, this is why we have guests on. This is why we have guests on because y'all just listen to me.
Oh my
I'm just gonna
god,
give the
no, don't wait. If it
craziest
bothers
takes.
you,
See?
address it then. And if y'all need to have, at least address it then, and if y'all need to go into further detail about what it actually is, then it can wait till when y'all off. But let it be known that that it is a problem.
So, what do you think about, because like especially with me moving in, it comes with a lot of trust and a lot of vulnerability so that we can actually grow. So what did trust look like for you? Or what does trust look like for you? And not just like you just feel it and for like a healthy relationship.
Hmm. I would say for me, it looks like selflessness, like you putting me first in every aspect of your life. So when you moved in, it was constantly, what can I do to like help you? Like, can I do this? Can I do that? Do you need me to do this? Do you need me to do that? Tell me what you need me to do, and I can do it. Um, so just you putting yourself aside and what you may have needed or what you may have wanted to do at any given time, and putting me first and what I may or may not have needed you to do first, that just made me trust that if there was ever anything that I needed from you, I never had to worry about you not being there for me or you not being able to like show up for me. Um, so I would say that
That's like your big one.
that was my big one. Like it, because I tend to put a lot of responsibility on myself in literally every aspect of my
Yes.
life.
Yes, you do.
You
I
answer it like that.
because like you literally do not take a day off.
Oh my god.
You do not take you don't even take a break when you have a mandatory government
I do
approved
take a break.
break
I
for
do.
45 minutes.
It's not
You
45
you
minutes,
have
but I
you have
do
a
take
break.
a break.
You have a break for at least a good
It's that needs to be done in my eyes, and I try to make. I don't feel like I'm doing my job to the fullest extent if my workers and those who work under me have to overexert themselves to try to play catch up when I know that I can do more on my end to make sure that they're good.
and that's just the supervisor in you. That's just because you see, I'm the little, I'm just the tech guy. I'm literally just the grub guy in the back that literally has to. So I like, I do have to, admit that my job is a little easier than yours, or a lot easier than yours.
Mhm.
But for you, you have to easily deal not only with patients, but you have to deal with, workers as well. And
Mhm.
so with that, especially being a leader, you have to kind of put everything on your plate. So that's why when it comes to coming home, I try to make sure that home is as comfortable as possible when you get here, or when I get here, because you work closer to home than me, but that I can make it as simple, as nice, and as comfortable as I can for you, so that you can have time to rest. Because that's the biggest thing that I will always say when you're having like a really hectic schedule, is to take that time out to rest, because burnout sucks.
Yeah.
Burnout literally does suck. I think I think that for me, that's like my duty as a man, to make sure that you're taken care of when you come home, period. Like that's just that's kind of what it looks to me. I'm not gonna lie. But in terms of trust to me looks like trust to me looks like to that as well, of like willing to be selfless and not, because like again, like literally there's so many things that, like, not only just financially that we could be doing, but we could just be like, hey, I'm gonna go out and party with these people or that people. And not like that there's a problem with that, but it's that we know how to do that in terms of moderation. And when it comes to that type of, you can actually trust to actually want to grow with each other, because that kind of just, to me, that shows to me that you're really invested in wanting to be with me. It might be because we're only 5 months into this relationship, who knows? But I think it's also that I can trust that even if you were to go out, literally, I know you're coming back home at a decent time, and vice versa. For you, is like we have that trust of like we there's no mistrust in terms of we could do,
We could still live our
right,
individual
we can
lives
still
and
be in,
still feel
right.
secure in our relationship.
See, that's what she's here for, y'all. That's what she's here for. And that's another thing that I try to not get into. It's like, because when it comes to codependency, that's it's codependency is good, but it's in moderation. It needs to be in
Mhm.
moderation in terms of being fully dependent on your partner to like make you happy. It's really important to find
Right.
your own happiness, and find your own self within a relationship, because I can't just be John, the relation in the like the relationship John. I have
Mhm.
to be John outside of the relationship.
Right.
Even if when I go to school, I gotta be just me. When I go to work, because I'm not around you all the time, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I have to have my own individual character, my own individual personality,
Mhm.
and you do as well, so that when we come home, we can just put all that aside and be the relationship John and Tkiia.
Right.
And I think that's one of the best things that we can do in terms of growing, because we're not also growing as a part as partners, but we're growing as individuals
Individuals.
as well. So I think that's where a lot of trust can come into, as to really, your partner is playing their part, you're playing your part, but you're also playing your part in terms of your own life,
Yeah.
and trying to get yourself that individual uh dependence, independence, should I say. Um so we are definitely a fresh couple.
Mhm.
So what's one piece of advice you would give to somebody who is at least looking for a relationship? We can start off there.
Mm, find somebody who you don't have to be afraid to be your full authentic self with. Somebody that you don't have to put on like a facade, like to not truly be yourself. Like if you feel like this person is like one way, or I'll just use us for example. You are like a major, major wrestling fan. I didn't approach you like, oh my God, I am too, and I know X, Y, and
Hmm.
Z. Like I didn't put on this facade that I knew everything about wrestling so that you can like me even more.
Right.
So, because then as we continue to like get to know each
You're
other,
like, you don't really know
and
that
it's like
much about
you
wrestling.
don't know.
Like you don't even
Like
know,
why'd you
you don't
cap it?
like all you know is Roman Reigns. It's like you don't know nobody else. Like y'all, I low key had to give her a rundown, which is not anything bad, because I love wrestling, and I love to show, and I love to show it. And it's just like, with you, I get to bring you into my world and bring into my knowledge, and vice versa with you,
Mhm.
with Big Brother and Hamilton, especially y'all, she got me. I'm not usually a musical like listener. I've only watched a musical one time, and that was Shrek the musical. That was the first and only musical I've ever watched before I met her. And as soon as I watched Hamilton, I was immediately hooked.
Mhm.
I was hooked on there. And see, we just have that effect on each other. We when you bring somebody into your world and you show how passionate, and I can show how I can see how passionate she is about that, especially when it comes to literally just the whole theatrics in itself. She loves plays and she loves all that type of stuff. And now that made me be like, dang, I've been missing out.
Mhm.
And so I think it works best that I am a wrestling fan because it's kind of like our worlds can come together, can really collide because like to many fans, wrestling is seen as like a theater, seen that as an art, especially
Mhm.
people in Japan. But that's a different thing. But like see, I can go on all day. I can go on all day. But like when we let our worlds collide, it kind of just makes the relationship even like more, it makes it more fun, and it makes us be able to be our authentic selves to each other, and we can be like the wacky, because like when I be show watch wrestling, she sees another version of John that most people don't see.
And then when we
And
watch Hamilton, he sees
yes,
me in Hamilton.
right, in Hamilton mode. And it's not, and it's gotten to the point that like now that whenever I watch Hamilton, I'm able to actually be the same tism as her. And when she watches wrestling, it's the vice versa. She can do the same tism that I do. So it's like that brings the freshness, that keeps the
Mhm.
relationship fresh, because we can listen, literally watch anything new, and it be new to you, rather it be new to me, but we can both put our invest into it, because especially if we like it and we actually communicate it, being like, do you like this? Like, what's up? Like literally, Finance of Freddy's.
Right.
I literally got her into Finance of Freddy's. I was like, here's this game concept that I do like. Let me show you. I showed her like a little preview of it, and she was like, I'm intrigued. And then we watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and she was already hooked to the point that she can't wait until the next movie
Right.
comes out in December. And so, like, that's the fun part that I love about our relationship, that we can actually, that might be honestly my favorite part, that we can just bring anything into our relationship,
Mhm.
and we both go into it tenfold, and we both can actually say like I like this, and I don't like this. Like,
Right.
it's not a saying, because like I could always be like, are you burnt out? Are you burnt out? And like she'll honestly tell me like, yes, I'm a little burnt out, I'm done wrestling for right now. And like we can actually be like that honest with each other, because it is when it comes to wrestling, anything new, you don't ever want to put that on somebody and being like, you
How
have
you
to,
have to do
like,
this.
yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's a really big misconception when it comes to bridging and colliding two different worlds to each other.
So yes. I
One
would say
of
for advice for new relationship to be authentically yourself. Don't put up the facade to try to make somebody like you more or less. Just be you. Because if it works, it works.
And for my guys out there, I'm gonna say it. I always tell people there's 6 billion people in this world. One person is for you, especially for me, it was just like trying to find, literally I went, and it's so crazy how God works, is that on Tinder, there's so many people on there, and the only person, I'm not even lying, y'all. The only person that actually slid, like swiped back, was her. And literally from that, and like, I'm genuinely for real when I'm saying this. Once she slid, I didn't need Tinder anymore. It was just like, and number two, it's like when you're juggling people like that, and that's one thing I would never want to do, because I don't like being juggled. I would never want to juggle somebody around with other people. And because like when you do that, it ends up getting messy, because you'd be like,
Messy.
and so like once I met you, I was just like, you know what, Tinder is, and I'm not really a big online dater in the first place.
Mhm.
I was just doing it
I
for
had no
jokes.
business.
I had no business either. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm,
But you see what happened when once we did it, we're here now. And so yeah, it's that's one advice I would give, is to really um do that, and also get to know the person, like, and it doesn't have to be, because that's where a lot of people get the misconception of quality over quantity. If you got good quality, you can know so much about somebody just by talking to them, and you can
Short
see in
period
a
of time.
short period of time that you can make that step in towards of like, I want to at least try it out, because that's what
Right.
a relationship is. It's at least a try, and then marriage is really the lock in, because now y'all legal. So now we're
Yeah,
literally legal
confess
together.
my
So now we're
love to
confessing my
God.
love to God for you. I would say get to really know the person, and it doesn't have to be, oh, well, we've known each other for maybe like two months, so now we can actually ask for out. No, just literally now. Granted, don't just go out here asking people, I've only met you for like 30 seconds and I talk to you and boom. No, you have to actually get to know another person. Give yourself some time to actually get to know that person. Also learn that person out feeling. Cause like literally when we had our first date, that whole day was us showing each other what this would actually look like on a bigger scale.
Mhm.
And you're never going to really know somebody until you're in front of them. So I would always say, go on just like a friendly day, because that's what it low key was. It was going to be like a friendly little, it was like a friendly like let's show around Houston. Then it turned into a date,
Oh yeah, it's my
and it turned into a date like what, like 24 hours before
oh yeah.
we actually met. We was like on the phone. We was like, and the crazy part is she was like, so I guess is that you said
And I
something.
think we was talking about trying to go swimming somewhere, like a rooftop pool in Houston, and I was like, "I don't know about swimming on the first date."
And I was
And he was
like,
like, "I didn't know
uh,
this was a date."
see, I was being a little clueless. I was like, oh, that's a date. Man, I'm just, but like, yeah, it's like literally your first date really can make. I wouldn't even say you can make or break you, but it can really
Yeah.
show you. You can have a bad first date and still have a good relationship. And so I think just getting to know that person, that's the most important thing I would say. Now for people that are what's in relationships, what's one piece of advice that you would give to people that people should stop giving? Let me reword this. I'm so sorry. What's one piece of relationship advice people should stop giving? Ooh, we've low-key talked about that so many times.
Trying to think. Because now you seem to say that we talk about it all the time. I guess I would be able to be the opposite, not the opposite really, that time makes the relationship.
Right,
I would say people need to stop saying that because it does not. There's people who known each other for like 2 weeks and they've been married for 22 years.
right.
There's people who've been together for 9 years and not together no
And
more.
not together no more. And like you can, and at the end of the day, you're still never gonna know. And I think that getting to know somebody and like knowing like their full self, you're never gonna really know that,
Right.
because that person doesn't even know that about themselves. That's the part of growing, in terms of
Exactly.
you're growing into your own person. So you're still trying to figure yourself out, but you also have to dictate who are you as an individual and who are you as a boyfriend, girlfriend,
Hmm.
significant other, all that jazzy stuff.
Yeah. I actually had a older couple tell me one time that you have to be willing to relearn your partner about every 5 years. But once you make that initial commitment to somebody, you're also making that initial commitment to continue to like learn and to continue to grow and to continue to adapt to who that person is also turned into after 5 years of like being
Right.
with them.
Right. And that literally brings me to my next point of literally because we met each other like freshly out of relationships.
Mm.
So how did you know when you were ready for a real relationship after that?
To my defense, just being just very transparent about it, I knew my relationship was over when saw my sign. Like when I fasted and prayed and asked for a sign to like for God to show me, okay, is this where I'm actually supposed to be in life? Is this in your will for me to be with this
Mhm.
person? Is this a path that my life is supposed to be going on? And if this is not it, I need you to show me the sign. And so when I saw that sign, it was me not necessarily trying to find a way out because even still I was trying to make it work because this is a whole different episode.
No, this is not. This is the relationship
But
episode.
to get more context and more
Oh yeah,
background. But for me at that point, even after I saw my son, I was still trying to again make excuses and trying to find ways around it because it just to me it couldn't be. I had invested so much time and so much energy that this maybe I didn't see it. But then I talked to my sister about it. She told me that God is not the creator of confusion. So you need to circle back, pray again, and move forward.
Hold on, we need to restate that one last time. God is not
No,
the creator of
God
confusion,
is not the
y'all.
creator of confusion.
Confusion. So if you confused, God didn't put
God
that
didn't
on
put that on you.
you.
So I fasted and I prayed again. And at this point, I had been, because he was out on deployment. So I had been by myself in my head, in my lifestyle, and the way that I was carrying myself. I was by myself for like 6 months.
Mm,
So when stuff started happening to me, for me to actually have to let go, I was in my mind, how I was carrying myself, I was already detached from the actual relationship itself. So when it came to actually start a relationship again, the only thing that was really holding me back was the fact that I had just moved down here and actually made a demographic separation
mm.
and was really learning how to adult by myself. Like I have an apartment by myself, I have bills by myself, I have everything is alone now. Even though I was detached relationship wise, there was still a lot of things that were joined.
Right.
Now I am actually by
Different,
myself,
completely
doing it
different.
by myself.
Exactly.
So being comfortable with doing it by myself was my biggest thing.
And now you got a partner
And now I have a partner.
that
So
actually is gonna put more gang, because I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And it's just that's just how I was brought up. It was to, if as the guy in a relationship, your overall job is to be that supplier and be that hunter. And like I was also like taught, I would put it in evolutionary terms of that. I was always taught to be the hunter, but also learn to be the gatherer. I wasn't just out here just providing, and then
mhm,
I can't just put that all on you in terms of being able to sort everything that I would provide. I would need to provide and also sort it out for the both of us.
right.
And that's where the partnership comes into, because we both can do that sorting together.
Mhm,
And that's what the fun part comes into. I think um for me, and it's so crazy, y'all, that it literally is the same for me. Because like I was in a relationship where something drastic really did happen towards the end, and it was like I was already mentally kind of checked out of the relationship.
mhm,
And once graduation kind of hit, that was like my and as I talked about the last episode, I was like so close to not graduating. So that hump was already there. And once I was over that, it was just like everything kind of came into fruition for me, in terms of just being like I I needed time to just be single and be alone, because this relationship that I'm not in isn't helping me grow any more than what I needed to do, I guess. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say, because of that big incident, I was already mentally checked out. So once we were going to be separated, it kind of just went in hand, and we just kind of ended it like that.
mhm,
That's just kind of how it happened. So like for me, the way how I was knowing that I was ready for a real relationship was that well, honestly, because I met you personally.
huh,
That's really it. Because like when I met you, I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, I was on BS. How I was not before, like not when I met you, before I met you. Okay, that's before I met you.
mhm,
Before I
yeah,
met you, I was on BS. But then, like I said, you was the only person that had split up. and so and me, I'm a really big spiritual person. I'm a really big person on like everything happens for a reason. And the fact that you were the only person gave me, and you friend zoned me, gave me that little pause. Like God was like, no, this is not what you do. Because I'm always that big person where I don't like to be on BS when
mhm,
I'm like single. I'm like single looking for the next person. You know what
mhm,
I'm saying? Like a lot of people around me were just like, nah, you need to enjoy yourself, enjoy being single, enjoy being this. And I'm just like, that's not who I am. And
right,
I was just like,
exactly.
that's just not who
I
I
was like,
am.
that's
And so when you stood up, I was just like, dang, this person friend zoned me. So maybe it ain't that. but then it came out that you possibly ended y'all. I ain't gonna lie. She said that she was into me once, like once I said hello. I ain't gonna
Uh-uh.
lie. So, so once that actually happened, it was just like, it just gave me that reassurance that like I'm taking the best step of actually getting to know you, and
Right. Love stuff.
we tried to keep it as slow as possible, so that once we actually get to see each other, it's like
Yeah.
fireworks, and that's what our first date was. It was like fireworks, and I think it was also just the I think it was just the knowledge of knowing that I was not going to be around for a good month
Mhm.
and a half, like gave us even more of a we got to make sure this is the best, and like those 3 days were the best 3 days that I've ever encountered for like a first date
Mhm.
type of.
I'm gonna circle back to my answer. How did I know that I was ready for a real relationship? As we were talking and everything like that, it did come down to a point before I actually said anything about wanting to actually unfriend zone you and like making it a date. I did tell you about my baggage, like my
Mhm.
last relationship. Like I laid it all out in like black and white. And the way how receptive you were to my story and what I actually had been through, and for you to understand why I friend zoned you is what actually
All right.
turned the table even more. So I knew whenever you were receptive to what I said and understood why, and you weren't like, not that you would be mad that I friend zoned you, but
No, I
that you
wasn't. I'm literally gonna keep saying like she friends on me. I really that's the reason why I make it a joke.
so you being receptive to why you were friend zoned and actually understanding and being supportive as I was still trying to process all of that and what all was happening, and you allow me to be vulnerable and being comfortable enough to actually even go that far to even say anything about it. That what is what let me know that I was ready for a real relationship, but not just a real relationship, a relationship with you.
All right.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why that's just how, and it's crazy just how God works. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was just trying to buy my time. I'm not gonna lie. I'm joking. But it was real because like, and that'll be for another episode later on down, but like literally when you told me that, I was like, oh, okay, I understand. And like I'm a very big I'm never gonna be somebody to push something like onto somebody. And if you told me all of that, I was just like, okay, like it all makes sense now of why I got friend zoned. And I wasn't even mad that I got friend zoned. I was just like,
I
oh
just felt like you
darn.
needed
But you
an
gave me,
explanation.
but and the thing is that that explanation did help. But like again, I guess I guess for me, I would be like I didn't need that explanation. I guess for like what some people would say, like, oh,
Mhm,
he didn't need that explanation. But it's like, if you're really like actively trying to like get to know somebody, that's something that you kind of talk about, and
mhm.
um. Especially like when I was trying I told you, I believe when we talked about it, I told you about mine first,
Yes, you
and
went
then
first.
I went first, and I guess because you was like mine's is long, mine's is
Lengthy.
intense,
I got
and
time, listen.
once you actually did tell me, it all like clicked in. I was just like, okay, so so I'm just gonna be the receptive guy, because like I mean, it's not even just I gotta be the receptive. It's just like wow, like that y'all, it's just it's hard to say it when people don't know
No,
the
right.
story, but for just for a person that doesn't know the story, I would say it was very intense, from coming from somebody that had something similar, but not to the extent. But for you to actually get through that and to be where you are now is like the most inspiring thing that a woman can even just go through, because like y'all are already tougher than us, but like for you to have gone through like diary of an angry black woman type of relationship, and to be where you are now, that's inspiring. And that's what another episode's going to be about. We're going to talk about her little testimony. literally that showed me like what type of person you are. You are a resilient person. That's what made me be like, yeah, I'm ready for be with this person because now I want to be what she never had.
Right.
And that's what I try to be every day. That's what I try to be. I
You
try to
are.
be. Thank you. And you are too. So that was a fun episode. This is a
Yeah.
fun episode. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to have her because I'm trying to we're gonna try to make this actually a co-host type of show where it's not just gonna be me talking to y'all, it's gonna be me and a guest or me and Tkiia because I feel like these type of conversations need to be and literally, our conversation today earlier about trust and whatnot, that was needed because I have a view, but you have another view. And it literally was that we was able to put two views into one. And I'm trying to get as much awareness to people as possible.
Right.
And so I think having multiple people or more guests on here, other than just myself, actually be beneficial for this podcast. So y'all let me know if y'all want me to have her on the podcast as a co-host or have her as a guest, or if you actually do like hearing me talk to you all day on our Fridays. But yeah, just let me know. I want you guys. I'm really terrible with this whole like and subscribe dumb stuff, bro.
Mm.
But it actually does help a lot with the channel because it helps us get known and it helps me kind of know what you guys are digging and comments out honestly help out as well if y'all just telling me like um hey, can you guys talk about this one day or talk about this because I'm always open. I mean, I'm always open to criticism. So if y'all are like well, since y'all had that mic incident, I would say get what type of mic y'all got, because I'm always open to learning about stuff for this podcast stuff because like I'm taking this literally one take at a time. So yeah, I that's why I try. That's why that's my catchphrase at the end of the day to kind of help you guys take it one take at a time. But our next episode will be happening next Friday. I'll give you guys the details of what that'll be coming out later on. I want to thank you, Takaya, for coming here and being here for my first ever guest on the podcast.
Of course.
I hope that everybody has a really great Halloween, and I will catch you guys later.